Welcome to Bridge Business. Horseman, we got a special guest right now. Come on, man. The undisputed, yeah, man. The WBC reigning champion of the world, undefeated, the legendary, the dream, my man Devin Haney. Welcome to Bridge Business, baby.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank y'all for having me.
Hey, man, we gotta have you, man. First of all, your lineage is golden. You know, I gotta bring up the Bay because of BH. He's legendary now in those Bay streets. You know, and your dad, man, I remember meeting you guys in Vegas, and we got a chance to sit down with Aoki and Barack and the whole nine. And listening to your dad, it just reminded me of growing up in Oakland. I know you came up in Vegas, but he came up on the same side of Oakland as my family's on. Growing up in Oakland, we got this business acumen that, you know, no matter what you do in life, your business got to be tight. Your hustle got to be tight. How has he transferred that into your boxing business? What has he told you?
I mean, that has been everything. That has been the key to my career. You know, it's a lot of fighters that can fight and go in there and win, but it's about, you know, having a business straight. And, you know, and that was the key to me. You know, I've done things that fighters who've been in the game for, you know, decades haven't done. On the business side, not only in the ring, but business side.
Give me an example of what do you mean by that? What kind of things you've done?
Like me being my own promoter, you know, normally guys at the top, you know, it takes for them they become their promoter, you know, at the tail end of their career. I came in the game as my own promoter. I came in the game promoting my own fights. So that's why, you know, it was easier for me to basically, you know, guide my career and, you know, be able to, you know, pick the fights that I want. And, you know, it never stopped me from making the biggest fights happen. And yeah.
Man, can you, I'm gonna let Horse jump in. Can you explain, because I saw this clip of you and Telefimo speaking after a fight, and you both were in this interview, and y'all were talking about who made the most money that night. And you said, nah, man, I made the most. And he was like, what are you talking about? I was the bigger, you know, I'm the bigger marquee or whatever. You said, no, I know what your purse was. And then I also made money at the door.
Yeah.
What is it? When you're a promoter, how does the money divide?
I mean, you get the gate, you get the merchandise, you get the TV, you get the overseas TV. It's just so many things that you get the sponsorships, the actual sponsors that's in the ring. Yeah. That a lot of fighters don't even know about. They just think, oh, they hear a big number in the beginning, and they take it, but they don't know how much the promoter's actually making off them.
Do you try to tell them this, or you just let them, you know, take that money?
I just let them. Honestly, if you know, you know. If you don't, you don't. You know, it is what it is. You can follow my lead, or you can, you know, watch me cash in. It's your choice.
Devin Haney.
There you go. So Devin, so did you take that out of a page from Floyd's book, as far as like you want to be in control of your own career? You want to be able to fight who you supposed to want to fight, not who somebody just put in front of you? Is that something you learned from Floyd Mayweather?
I could say, yeah, I took somewhat of it from Floyd Mayweather, but a lot of it had to do with, you know, me and my dad. That's what we came up with. Because early in my career, I was offered, you know, some contracts, and they were good contracts for where I was at in my career. But I knew that one day I would be here, and I knew that, you know, if I stayed down and trusted the process, that I was going to be able to cash in big when the time came, and that's pretty much what I did. I could have took the little money up front and you know, been, you know, flossing and having it then, or I could have, you know, just stay down and trusted the process and believed in myself that, you know, I'm gonna be at the top. My talent is gonna take me there. All I gotta do is just sacrifice now, and it's gonna pay off in the end. And that's what I did.
All right, Devin Haney is here, man. We loving it. This is what we call Bridge Business. Hey, man, what was it? I saw your father talk about you being a really rambunctious, a little wild, badass kid. And that's what made him get you into boxing, man. But when did you know that this was like, okay, this is going to be my life pursuit? What fight was it let you know that you had it?
At a young age, I knew that this was something that I wanted to do. I was playing football. I played basketball at a young age, and I never like to lose. Them like just I always been a sore loser. They always call me a sore loser. They still to this day. I don't like to lose in nothing. Video games, nothing. So just at a young age is when I made up my mind that if I lost, it was gonna be on me. It wasn't gonna be on a team or a coach. It was gonna be on the work that I put in and the decisions that I made. And with boxing, that's what it is. At the end of the day, it's mano a mano. It's me versus him, and the best man win, and that's just what it is.
Hmm.
Mm.
Hey Dev, speaking of I want to bring it up to date. Speaking of the WBC belt, that you are the holder of the WBC belt. What is the situation with Ryan Garcia saying he's the interim WBC champion? What is the in organizations they have different belts. They have different WBC world champion. That's the highest that you can go. That's what everybody is working to be. The interim belt is the next belt down. That's where it's basically that's what it is. It's just the next belt down, and it makes you the mandatory challenger to fight me for the actual world title. And I wonder why that conversation ain't going on. It seemed like, you know what it is? It's like Devin Haney is the WBC champion. It seemed like nobody want to recognize you as that. But if it was somebody else, like if Ryan Garcia was the WBC champion, guarantee you Telefimo will be like, you know what? That's my next fight. But since it's Devin Haney, who's a hard hitting, they know you work hard, they know you go hard, and then you know what? There's a fight that they know they could lose. I don't know what it is about that. Like they don't want to fight the best fighter.
I mean that's exactly what it is. These fighters, they smart. They know what it is, and they'll say anything but that they want to fight me, and it's not for no reason. They know what it is.
They know what it is. But you said that you know them all from the amateurs. Y'all all came up. You actually fought Ryan Garcia a couple times in the amateur, correct?
Yeah. And we went back and forth in the amateurs, but the pro game is totally different. And that's for both of us. For him, he's gotten better, in the pros. I gotten better in the pros. So that's why we need to settle the score in the pros and may the best man win.
May the best man win, man. Do you feel like these guys, by not taking the fight with you, are like standing in the way of your destiny, so to speak? Because it's almost like we were talking with Antonio Tarver, and he felt like he got boxed out, be that as it may or not. But it seemed like some fighters, like a Winky Wright, for example, back in the day, Winky Wright got boxed out of a lot of opportunity until he got older. Do you feel like that's happening to you right now? Or is it too soon to say?
I can't really say it as of right now where I'm at in my career because I'm still young. I'm only 22 years old. I'm just in the beginning. Like I'm just now getting my feet wet. So, it's so many big fights that's gonna be made. Year after year, it's gonna be, a huge fight. So that's why, I'm chasing these guys, but it's no rush because I understand that the time will come, and when the time comes, I'm gonna be ready.
Do you think that the business of boxing actually messed up the sport, as far as like the best doesn't fight the best anymore because of contracts and certain things like that? Because I feel like the legacy of boxers, it was built on legacy. Like you want to be the best in this business. I feel like boxers ain't big on legacy no more. They're big on getting a purse right now.
Yeah, definitely, it's definitely different than the older days where the best would fight the best and all the promoters work together. But to nowadays we're making way more money, a lot more money, and it's politics that come with it, and that's just with any sport. You can go to football, basketball, whatever. Back in the older days it was different, and now it's different, and it's politics with anything.
Devin Haney's hanging out with us on BridgeBizness. You're only 20. What are you? 22? You said
22, yeah.
22, man. You the same age as my daughter. She's 22. At 22, my daughter though went to college. She's done traveled the world. She's had a social life. She's partied. She works now. She's doing excellent. What kind of social life have you had? Being a boxer.
I mean, my social life has been great. Coming up, being young with success and money, and stardom is it's been great.
It's been great. Most people who experience stardom, Devin, and I'm speaking on a small scale, personal experience level, it ain't natural, in my opinion, for human beings to be famous. I don't.
No, not at all.
And so you can't assume that folks could all digest it and handle it properly.
Yeah.
How you dealt with fame? Have you had a tug of war at all? A mental tug of war with it, or?
Of course, it comes with it. I never been here before. I never, experienced these things. So of course, I'm still learning to deal with things that come to me, daily. Every day is something new. So it's been ups and downs, but I'm learning from each experience, and it's making me more seasoned.
Okay, all right.
So who is it that Devin Haney wants to fight next? Who do you want? Who's on your wish list? Who do you want next?
There's so many big fights to be made out there, but the fight that I would love to make is with Teofimo Lopez for all the belts and all the marbles.
And what's stopping that? His corner?
Of course. I've been trying to reach out and trying to make the fight happen. He makes up excuses that he has a mandatory, he has this, he has that, but with me it's no excuses. I'm willing to make the fight happen. Whatever we got to do to make the fight happen, I'm willing to do. But on his side, it's something totally different.
I feel like with the WBC right now with the belt, I feel like it should be like this. I feel like you and Ryan Garcia should get it on, and the winner of that automatically get Teofimo. It should be automatically a hands down to that, because he felt, on the BridgeBizness, he said you the WBC and you didn't fight nobody, and I felt like, what, you proved who you was. You go hard in the gym every day. You do everything you're supposed to do. Ryan Garcia just came up with a knockout, and he's already running for Tank. And I feel like he's running for Tank. I feel like he's running for Tank for the payday. I don't feel like he's running for Tank for like it's the right decision for him to make. But I feel like he's running the Tank because it's the biggest payday he could make right now.
I definitely agree with that. I can't force these guys in the ring. I think that I'm willing to fight either one of them, no matter who it is. It's not one that I'm willing to fight more than the other. I want to fight, either one of them. It makes no difference, who it is. But they're comparing us to, the some of the best eras in boxing when it was Marvin Hagler, Sugar Ray, Roberto Duran, and Tommy Hearns. So, but one thing about those guys, they fought each other, and that's what we need to do. If we want to live up to it, we have to fight each other.
Because there's too many belts. That's why it should be one. Yeah. It should be one undisputed champion, and he should be the go-to guy.
And I agree. And what I can say is, the organizations need to, stop making up rules and stop making up, stop making up ways to earn money and to make all these belts, and instead of making us top fighters fight each other. Of course, it's about the money. We all know we all love money. We all understand that. But at the end of the day, it's a sport, and it's about legacy as well. So it's up to these organizations to stop making belts and put pressure on the fighters to make them fight their mandatories. What's the point of having a mandatory if you're not going to fight them? It's no point.
No point, right?
Yeah.
No point. I saw you and Teofimo went back and forth about your various sparring sessions.
Yeah.
Both you guys saying the other one is lying. But let me ask you about sparring, because I've actually sparred once, but man, that was so many years ago, bro. That's why I went into hip hop. When you spar, are you always Are you 75%? Are you 90%? Like, how much of you are you really showing your sparring partner? For example, Teofimo said you just threw a jab and kept running, right? You said he didn't show you anything. But how much credence could you put into sparring?
Yeah, with Teofimo Lopez, he said that in sparring that he stopped me, or that he beat me up. But how could you beat somebody up that's throwing a jab and running? You got to make it make sense. You got to read between the lines. If I ran the whole time, how did you beat me up? How did you stop me if I ran the whole time? So Teofimo and his dad, they make up lies as they go. They make up lies as they go. each interview is something totally different. If you just keep up with them, one day is something, next day is something totally different. But back to your question, sparring, it depends on the day. Some days, I go all the way hard. Some days I go in there just to work on things. It just depends on who it is and how I'm feeling, where I'm at in camp. It's multiple variables of what I might do and how I feel. It's many different things of what determines how a sparring day goes.
Mm-hmm. Have you ever been in a sparring match and someone, because you said Teofimo didn't show you anything, but have you been in with someone that you went, okay, he showed me something?
Of course, that's part of the game. If I never been tested in sparring, or I don't be tested in sparring, I don't think I would be where I'm at right now. That's just how you get better. That's just part of the game. Just like in any other sport, basketball, football, tennis, golf, whatever. In practice, you got to test yourself, and that makes it on that one day, that one night. It makes it it makes it easier.
In that one time. I remember Berto, after his Floyd Mayweather fight, commented on Floyd's fight style. He was like, I see what he does. He gave me different looks. Then he'll punch, he'll hold. And while he holding, you can hear him breathing and he's catching his breath, and it was moving like a pattern. He figured that out, even though he couldn't defeat him. When you sparred with Floyd, what did you learn from him? Did you learn anything?
Of course, I learned some things, but the most thing that I really like gained from it was just get the experience, like just to say that I actually like been in there with Floyd. It was a confidence booster. It was like, damn, like I really been in there. I sparred with Floyd. Like, man, that's crazy. That's some of the best boxers today can never say that ever, and probably won't be able to ever say that. So I was just thankful for that opportunity. But yeah.
How fast was his reflexes?
And his reflexes were crazy. I think that was like the best thing. Like his reflexes was amazing. And I feel like that's the key to it. We see a lot of people fast. They can hit the bag fast. They can, hit the pads as fast as they want. But it's about timing and reflexes and timing. The fastest guy can still get knocked out, just because a guy has better timing.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Speaking of sparring, how does that go about? Because I think you sparred Tank before. I think you sparred a couple of guys a couple of times. Is it that they call you out because you're a taller fighter and they want to work on a few to see if they can work on their reach or work on, how could they work with a taller fighter? So I don't understand how sparring can be taken so serious when you're actually working on your craft.
Yeah, well, when I sparred these guys like Teofimo, Ryan, Tank, just when we were all younger, we were all, just all getting better. So sparring was a lot easier to make. It's hard to make a sparring these days with, the top guys because, Tank has his camp, I have my camp, Ryan has his own camp. So, it's impossible to make these sparrings happen. But, when you're young and you're coming up, you hit a guy up, you guys might be in the same city, you guys might be around in the same gym. One guy says, he sparred him this day and you want to spar him the next. That's just, it's many different ways that a sparring session could happen.
Okay.
I want to bring up Lomachenko because, they seem like they boxed him out and all this. And, he wants to come back. What if he wanted to offer you a fight because, Teofimo doesn't want to fight him because he's parading around with the belts right now, taking pictures.
Yeah. That's exactly what he's doing.
So what if he offer you a fight right now so he could get a belt, so he could be a mandatory for him? Would you take the fight with Lomachenko?
See, it's a fight with Lomachenko is interesting. Excuse me, because I don't know if you remember or not, but about a year ago, I was chasing Loma. I was doing interviews. I was trying, reaching out to his team. My team was reaching out to his team. We were trying to make a fight happen. I was his mandatory challenger, and the guy acted like I didn't even exist. He would do interviews and he would just ignore a question about me. He would never give me a shot. He would never even, speak on me. He would never acknowledge me. So at this point in his career, now that he lost, now that, me beating him isn't it wouldn't be as much. It wouldn't be everything. It wouldn't be, me beating the pound for pound best. It's like, should I give you a shot? Should I even,
Yeah.
does it even make sense for me to even give you a shot at the title? Because when you had it, you was Hollywood. You wouldn't even, even pay me no mind. So now that you want some get back and you want to find a way back at the top, now I should give you a shot. No, that's cool. I'll fight Lopez.
Hey, Dev, so what do you think about Telefimo? He's parading around with the belts. He's supposed to give.
He is. I agree. I
same
agree.
thing.
I agree. I think that he's doing the same thing. He cried and he complained that Loma was doing. He gets the belts and he does the same thing. He turned into a diva as soon as he got the belts, which is okay. He'll be humble fast.
You think he's a diva? I mean, I met Telefimo. First time I met him, he was on the undercard for T-Bud Crawford. Yeah. And he said something to me, man, that always stuck with me, Devin. And he said, "Hey, Sway, what should I do after the fight?" I said, "What do you mean, what should I do after the fight?" He said, "Man, should I do a backflip? Should I do this dance? I'm trying to go viral, right?" And so it led me to believe that he does what's necessary to bring attention to his brand.
Yeah.
You don't.
That was then. That was then. You got to look at him now. He's a totally different person now.
You know what? The last champion I seen do this with the belt was Keith Thurman. Keith Thurman had the belt, and this dude, he didn't want to fight. I mean, bro, he kept the belt for like 3 years. He didn't want to fight. He kept parading with it, walking around, taking pictures with it. He didn't want to fight for it. And it's like,
he didn't want to give Earl a shot. And, he would ignore Earl, and he would, wouldn't say that he was worthy enough. Now Earl got the belts, and now what?
Everybody calling.
See how tables turn? Tables turn for sure. Yeah. And God will humble you.
Mm-hmm.
Would you ever do that, Dad? Would you ever parade around with the belts without fighting the best of the best? Or is it?
Of course not. I wouldn't acknowledge myself as a real champion if I didn't feel like I beat the best and I was. See, one thing about Teofimo, they say he's undisputed. They want to label him as undisputed, right? So if you undisputed, it would be no dispute that you're undisputed. People are disputing it. So are you undisputed? No.
I mentioned that on BridgeBizness. He came on, he had the belts, he just won. I mentioned on BridgeBizness, I said, how could you be undisputed? And Devin Haney has a belt right now. And that's when he got into this long thing about I beat Lomachenko for all the belts. I said, I don't know. The division isn't recognizing you as a WBC champion. They're recognizing Devin Haney as that. And why aren't you giving that man his respect? And if not, get it on so you could be undisputed.
See, the WBC, they said something. They said, when you're the franchise champion, nobody can win it. You can't defend it. You can't win it. Then they come back with, okay, now Loma is Loma's franchise champion is on the line against Teofimo. So Teofimo is the franchise champion. So how can you be undisputed when somebody can't win the franchise title? If he was to fight Sway right now, Sway, you cannot become franchise champion. So how can you be undisputed? There's no way. If I still have a belt, then you can't. But that's that they want to make this narrative and try to trick and fandangle the people. The people have to pay attention and stay woke and tell them the truth. You can't be.
I know that your camp ain't waiting around for nobody to call. If this fight doesn't happen with Telefino, what direction would y'all start headed in if he doesn't want to get it on? Well,
of course, Ryan Garcia is my mandatory, so we're gonna go that route first. If that can't happen, then we're gonna go with Teofimo. That's a fight that I would love for all the belts. And if we can't get him, then I do have a mandatory, which is I do have another mandatory, which they gave me 2 mandatories, but he's undisputed. I'm the WBC champion, but I have 2 mandatories. He doesn't have a WBC mandatory, which doesn't make sense. But I gotta fight Javier Fortuna.
Man, this is interesting, bro. I love how Devin, you be breaking the science down, man. I be understanding a lot better now too.
Yeah,
I really want you to talk your shit too, man, because I just feel like these dudes are running from you. You
See,
might
and that's what it is. They running from me, but at the end of the day, I'm upset that they're running from me, but I understand that the time will come, and I'm not missing no meals. I'm getting paid well. Even Teofimo Lopez fought Lomachenko, the big bad Lomachenko, and I still made more money than him, more than double the money that he made against Lomachenko against Gamboa. So I'm A-okay. The time will come.
That's that boss move.
Yes,
That's the boss move. I love what I'm saying though, man. The Four Kings, you guys have definitely rejuvenated boxing, and I'll just be honest with you. You know, Telefimo, and I've never met Ryan Garcia, but I love the energy, and I love you. I'm always in your corner. I don't care what it is. If they talk shit, I can't let it happen, man. They got to understand the lineage. Look at the shirt I wore. Your pops being from Oakland. Look.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. My vice president is a black woman. That's the truth.
And it's
Oakland.
Ain't that big, bro? I know you follow politics a little bit, but that
was that's huge.
And you want to know what's funny about boxing? I noticed that boxers argue over the people that they beat, right? I think I saw you and Tello argue over Gamboa. He said somebody beat Gamboa in certain rounds and you went this thing. Maybe you just wanted to work on a few things. Maybe you just didn't want to go in there and knock a person right out. You know, maybe.
But see, they don't understand that. They don't understand the art of boxing and how styles make fights. I may beat Sway, but you may beat me. That's just style. Styles make fights, and they don't understand that the art. But they don't. That's because they don't study the history of boxing, the science of boxing. You know, just because I beat Sway a certain kind of way, and you may beat me, that don't mean that you could beat Sway the same way I beat him. It's just style. Styles to make fights.
You say you study the science in your opinion. Like, who are those top-notch scientists? You know that you like
today.
Yeah.
That you study coming up. What about the people that you study coming up?
All right, study coming up. Of course, Floyd. I like Roy Jones.
Tell me why though. But tell me why. What you like about him?
Well, Roy set traps. Like he set people up for the knockouts. He was smart, but he was explosive at the same time. You know, Floyd was just a technician. Floyd was just, hit and not get hit, and that's the name of the game. That's the key, and that's what I learned. I came up under the Mayweathers. I came up under that fighting style. And if you look at my last fight, people can't even remember a big punch that I even got hit with. I don't remember one punch I got hit with. Yeah. And nobody has done that to Gamboa. We've seen guys knock him out, but they took punishment doing it. The top guys. I'm talking about Terrence Crawford. I'm talking about Gervonta Davis. They took punishment doing it. They got hurt in the fight doing it. It's about hitting and not getting hit. I didn't get hit with anything.
That's the name of the game. So Roy and Floyd and who today you
Sugar Ray. I like Terrence Crawford today.
You've seen Terrence and Earl in the ring, and you probably see them in sparring. I'm assuming. Who would you take in that fight if you had to choose one, based on what you know about their styles?
I like both of them, to be honest. I like both of them, but I feel like styles make fights, and they're both good. I think it's a 50-50 fight, to be honest. But if I had to put my money on it, I would have to say Terrence Crawford.
Oh shit!
Hey, Dev, are you comfortable at 135, or you think about moving around when moving around?
Yeah, I think that there's so many big fights to be made at 135. So of course I'll stay here, and sacrifice for the time being to make these big fights happen for the fans. But eventually I want to move up because I'm still young, my body's still growing, still maturing. So eventually I want to move up.
Okay, but
it's funny that he would say Roy and Floyd. Speaking of both of them, they both were their own promoters. Roy put on his own fights, so did Mayweather. So that was a great way.
And both of them, Roy's dad trained him. Floyd's dad trained him. So
your dad trained you.
Yeah.
So the business acumen is really stand out, man. How well y'all planning this out, man. What do you see yourself like 5 years from now?
Of course, I want to be the face of boxing, pound for pound best, which that can happen today. With 1 or 2 fights and against the top guys, I could easily become the pound for pound best. But I want to become the face of boxing. I want people to think about boxing. They think of Devin Haney, same way they think of Floyd. When you think of boxing, you think of Floyd, Mike Tyson, Ali, and I want my name to be mentioned with the greats when it's all said and done.
I love it, man. And you do a lot of charity work at all?
Yeah, of course. I love giving. I love giving back. You know, and even you know, a lot of times I don't show it. I do show it a lot, and a lot of times I don't show it. You know, me giving back. You know, me giving tents and you know feeding the homeless. You know, going back and you know kicking it and talking with the elderly, and you know giving back to kids and you know local football teams. A lot of stuff that people don't see, and some people do see. And when they do see it, it's, you know, I want to, you know, inspire them to do the same. It's not because I want, you know, recognition from it or anything like that. I want people to, you know, be inspired to do the same thing. If he could do it, I could do it too.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Gotta love it, Dev, man. I mean, honestly, I just want to make sure that your next fight is somebody that, you know, you deserve it. You
Yes, sir.
you deserve it. You put the work in. I just feel like I don't want to see you get so-called shelf you. Like that,
Yeah.
that WBC green belt is recognized in my world, everybody else's world. I don't know why they don't want to recognize it. And I feel like you should start walking around parading with your belt too. Like, you can't be undisputed. I'm here. Get at me. I'm here.
For sure.
He want to fight Ryan Garcia for 10 million. He gonna tell Eddie Hearns he want 10 million to fight.
No, he said he want 10 million for me. JP Mo said he want 10 million. He want 10 million to fight me. The man made 1 million against. He made $1 million against Lomachenko, but you want 10 million for me? Come on, man.
Hey, Dev, might feel like he gonna lose. You know, he got to cash out. He know, all the.
Yeah, I mean, I understand. I know about cash out records, but goddamn.
Hey man, fellas, I'm seeing it a little different though. Like, I'm not looking at it as him wanting money to spite Devin. I'm looking at it as him getting to this place where nobody thought he would be, maybe not knowing how long he gonna keep it there. So let me get the most I can, no matter who I fight.
No, I think honestly, I think that he's in a spot to where he's like, okay, I know I'm not gonna get 10 million. He's not going to get 10 million. It's not going to happen. So he's like, okay, I know they're not going to pay me 10 million. So let me just say that because I really don't want to make the fight happen. If I get the 10 million, then it's an ultimate plus, but it's not going to happen. So that's a way of saying, hey, I don't want the fight.
Hey, Dev, your father was thinking about a fax machine the other day. Did the fax ever come through?
Nah, we ain't got no faxes, man. We ain't got no contracts, no nothing.
They said
I think he might be sitting right there still. I think he might be right next to it still.
They said, I'm waiting for it. They said, don't go to sleep. He's sending it your way. Your pop said, I'll be waiting. I'm going to be up all night. I'm waiting for it, man.
Horse, you know your stuff, man. You know your stuff.
Hey, tell them, they use emails too. Y'all ain't got to fax it, man. Can you just email the offer?
They ain't emailing shit. They ain't faxing shit. They ain't shit coming.
There ain't nothing coming? All right. Well, look, man. Hey, bro, I appreciate you coming on BridgeBizness with us, man. We gonna be your Howard Cosell to Muhammad Ali. No matter what, you're gonna have access to our platforms, okay?
Yes, sir. I appreciate y'all. I appreciate y'all for having me, and I thank you for the love.
Hey, man, tell your pops we said salute.
Hey, I want to say congratulations now on the undisputed championship, because you're gonna get it. You're gonna
get it. Yes, sir.
You focus, you committed, you put the work in. Only success that can happen, man.
And when I get it, I'm coming back on the show. I need to come back on the show.
There you go, baby. Come on.
Told you that, baby. BridgeBizness told you. We called it already, man. I see it.
BridgeBizness, baby. Hey, we're going to get you some hoodies, too. All right?